Hello everyone, good morning, and welcome again to the first edition of the Heirs Insurance Retiree Club's webinar series. This is the first of the series, and we are starting off with managing health and wellness in retirement. So, we're happy to have everyone here. How this series is going to go is that, how this webinar is going to go, we are going to start with um, general introductions. We're then going to move on to the doctor's part. We have a specialist in the house, a family consultant in the place of Dr. Raji Adesola from Avon Medical Practice. He's going to be giving us a deep dive into health in retirement, various changes our bodies go through. We're then going to have a question and answer session, a Q&A session after each segment. So after the doctor segment, we'll have a Q&A where everyone would be able to ask questions as they feel fit. You can ask questions by either raising your hand. You indicate you want to ask a question by raising your hand or by typing in your question in the Q&A section. If you see, look below, just down where you have the raise your hand, you're going to see Q&A. You can type in your question there. Well, we're not going to be able to treat all questions, but we'll treat as many as we can. Following the doctor's presentation, we're going to move on to the finance aspect of retirement. So managing finance in retirement. So everyone who has been able to join in, thank you very much. Thank you for being members of this club. Yes, of the Retirees Club on WhatsApp, and we hope to have a wonderful presentation. Apologies, we are not going to be able to speak right away. We're not going to be permitted to speak right now, but rest assured you're going to be able to speak, share your opinions once the floor is open for the Q&A segment. So just stay with us and we are going to launch the webinar. Thank you very much. I would like to introduce to you Dr. Raji Adesola. He's a family health physician at Avon Medical, yes, at Avon Medical Practice, and he's going to be taking the crux of the webinar, managing health in retirement. Without further ado, let's proceed. Dr. Raji, the floor is yours.
Thank you, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Raji, and today we want to discuss briefly, I think in the next 30 minutes, about health awareness in retirement. And I want us to go to start the presentation using the following outlines. We want to talk about the aim, the objectives, introductions, and the definition of key terms under the word health and awareness. The major aim of today's discussion is to educate on what is health and wellness. That is our main aim. However, our objectives include dealing with old age, educating on common non-communicable diseases at old age, managing and living with some of the non-communicable diseases that we have actually identified, and then we'll talk about some major key terminologies under health and wellness. Next slide, please. By the way of introduction, I want us to actually, and I just mentioned, not merely the absence of diseases or infirmity, but a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. Good health encompasses physical, mental, and social well-being. So it's the three needs to go pari passu. While wellness is related to person's ability to cope with many interactions and transitions that occurs in his or her own life. Ability to cope with transition that occurs in the course of aging, and that is what wellness is really all about. Now, before we discuss further, I want us to understand what the term elderly is. Elderly, according to WHO definition, though we have two different classifications of elderly, there's a difference between WHO and United Nations classification. Well, let's stick majorly to the WHO classification. According to the WHO classification, elderly can be defined as anybody 60 years and above. And I want to believe, early in Nigeria, the cutoff age for retirement, both in private and in public sector, is still 8 years or 35 years in service. Newer introduction to those in the academic sectors and also presently in the health sector, where the government is proposing about 65 to 70 years as cutoff age for retirement. But I believe I'm talking to most of majority of people I'm talking to will be between the range of 50 and 50 years and above. So majority of us, if we are still under the middle age, I'm sure majority will be at the elderly age. So that after having the definition, next slide please. After having the definition, I want us to go into identifying what's being able to the first thing on the objective, which is dealing with old age. And one thing I want us to understand about dealing with elderly, dealing with retirement, is the point of transition. At different age groups and age brackets, we have different challenges in transiting from one particular age bracket to the other. When we are in childhood, transiting from childhood to teenage, from transitioning from teenage to adolescent, from adolescent to adult, middle age, thereabout. There are different changes and different challenges that are specific to each of the stages. So for transitioning to elderly, I am going to talk about the major changes under the listed points. The first one is change in industry and occupation, and that is what we are. This is the major reason why we are here. Majority of us are transitioning from being active in service to being a retired personnel, or being a retired personnel majorly. So
Sorry,
what
Dr.
are the
Raji.
challenges and what are the changes?
Dr. Raji, please, do you mind speaking up a bit? The participants are saying the volume is a bit low, so just kindly speak up so everyone hears the value that you're about to give us.
So am I audible now? I might need to move closer to the system.
You
Am I
can become
audible?
become
Is it
a
audible?
little bit more, a little bit more.
Okay.
Okay, it's clear now. It's clear.
So
Go ahead.
all right. So the first is change in industry and occupation. Majority of us have been used to waking up, used to our 8 to 4, 9 to 5, and now you're being faced with just being sedentary, not being active. Some are lucky to still have things to do outside retirement. Some are lucky to be masters and uh, of their own, that happens to be the owners of their own businesses, that they might not be actually facing this at the moment. But majority of people at retirement have a problem moving, transiting into changing occupation and industry. The next one is changing autonomy and individuality, and that is what I tagged an empty nest. When it comes to being an empty nest, majority of retired personnel experience empty nest. At the age bracket of 50 and above, most of the children are no longer at home. They've actually forged ahead in their own endeavors. They have their own family. They are on their own, and you find yourself and your spouse actually nursing an empty nest. So the next one is change of responsibility. You need to transition from most of the responsibilities being given to some people are used to being leaders or directors, or they call the shots in their different endeavors. I mean, their occupations now at retirement, they are just there. I've experienced a patient that had to build a replica of his office in his home just to satisfy his mental demands. He his office while he was in service at home. And he employed staff at home and he was really not doing anything. He just wants to still continue to have the feel that he has had for almost 30, 40 years while in service. So change of responsibility is another major thing we need to with that we expect when transitioning into elderly and retirement age. And the most important thing again is change in body structure and health challenges. As we all know, at 50 plus, you are not expected to perform optimally the way you were performing when you are 20 years older, I mean younger, 30 years younger. There will be different changes that you'll be experiencing at that particular moment when you are transiting into elderly and then retirement age. And we have range of movement which is going to be reduced. There could be pain. We have strength, which cannot actually expect it to be as strong as it was some 30, 40 years prior. We have digestion. Under digestion, we talk about experiencing regular constipation because the alimentary canal is not as vibrant as it was before. And I usually tell patients generally that the fact that you are 60 years old, you need to realize that your eyeballs are 60 years old, your lungs, your heart, your alimentary canal, the intestines, the stomach, they are also 60 years old. Nobody is, they are not independent of the other. As the age is actually increasing chronologically, the age of the organs too are also increasing. They are also aging. They are also getting older. So the rate at which they function will be reduced to the way they were actually acting prior. So the alimentary canal, the internal organs, the ability to process some basic things, the ability for the eyes to accommodate the refractive visuals, those are the basic things that will be happening at that particular transition time. Also changing social lifestyle. That is another major transition that we need to also understand when we're talking about retirement and aging, being an elderly person in the society. Social lifestyle is another most important thing that is affected. Some of us notice once you are no longer in service, you are no longer in circulation. You don't really come in contact with people. You might not even be able to make new friends. So your social engagement will reduce. Sincerely, you need to make conscious effort to keep up social engagement, to maintain a particular social lifestyle. And under the social lifestyle also comes spirituality. Some people at retirement, that's when they had time for religion activities and religious practices. You notice some people they became more religious. They tend to more religious activities just to keep the void that they're actually having at that particular time. And also, the next one I want us to talk about is change in mental status. That is something that is practically inevitable. There is going to be intellectual impairment as one ages, there will be cerebral atrophy as we are aging, the brain is also aging. When you see some images, some brain images, you see from 50 years and above, you see shrinking of the brain matter and then the brain itself due to cerebral atrophy. So there will be change in intellectual status and mental status. Also, there will be financial pressure and financial responsibilities. And that is a major aspect that we also need to talk about because for some people, the lifestyle they have been maintaining while in service, not all though, a lot of people might not fall under this category, but I'm sure some of the people in public sector, be it federal, local government, or state public sector, will actually understand what I'm talking about. Yeah, they might be experiencing this. Most of their entitlements are not paid as I went due sincerely. So some of them to even get funds to maintain basic life activities, to maintain medications to treat common illnesses might be difficult. To even keep up with family responsibilities might be difficult. So these are some of the things, the major things we experience when transitioning into retirement and then elderly age group. So next slide, please. So now the next thing is I want us to talk about the next objective is educating ourselves on the common non-communicable diseases that one is exposed to or one experiences at old age, at retirement. Sorry, I'll be using the word old age and retirement concurrently because they, like I've identified earlier, the age bracket of 60, elderly, and most people retire at that particular age. So most of the things you are experiencing that we might be experiencing are retirement, are some of the consequences of our past actions and activities, either from lifestyle or from work and other activities. And as you know, some of the diseases we are expected to see during retirement is quite different from what you're expected to see in your younger age group. Let's take, for instance, we're talking about what are we expected to see in an adolescent, common illnesses, common medical conditions. In them, we see more of communicable diseases because they are active, they are vibrant, they are reckless, they are experimenting at that particular age group, teenage, adolescent, middle age group. So you expect to see more of communicable diseases, things like sexually transmitted infections, things like pulmonary medical complications. Some of them are just trying tobacco for the first time. Some of them are trying vapes at that particular time. But when you're not talking about what are we expected to see, what are we expecting retired age bracket to see, some of the things they will be experiencing are some of the consequences of past actions, past activities, from work, from lifestyle, and from other behaviors. So most of the things we see are actually from old age, from aging. And like I've said earlier on, when I was talking about transitioning zone, change in body and anatomy, some of them will have bones and joint problems. And this is what we call arthritis, bone pains, and the rest. Because at that time, you can't expect a particular nail that we have been using for 60 years not to actually have some majors with wear and tear. You cannot expect the back that some of us have been using to sit while in bank, while while working as an HR. Some people sit from 8 to 5. Expect there won't be consequences, and that is what I meant by our past actions and activities. People will come down with diabetes because we tend to live sedentary lifestyle. We walk more and we exercise less. We sit, we walk, we exercise our system less. Hypertension, body is getting older. You might be finding it difficult to process and control the blood pressure. So we'll see more of hypertension. That's why I said we see more of communicable diseases in old age than communicable diseases. We have aging organs, the highs. Oh, no, no, no. Please come down, please. The slide is moving too fast. The highs will be getting older. We have problem with accommodations. We have problem with refractions. We have a problem reading fine prints. There might even be increase in intraocular pressure. Some people might be experiencing um, uh, sorry, excuse me, that some people might be experiencing glaucoma, retinal detachment, several conditions from the eye. We have aging organs. Yes, the heart will be old, be having heart failure. The heart might not be able to sustain the requirement from the body. So we could have heart failure, we could have constipations, like I described earlier, with problem with digestion and then processing of food, absorption of nutrients from food, immobility from joints and joint issues, incontinence. This ranges from constipation, both fecal constipation or fecal incontinence to urinary incontinence, as we have in male when we talk about prostatic hyperplasia, prostate enlargement, irritability. You will notice our boss is will soon get retired, but nowadays it's just being unnecessarily irritable. You can't even explain the reason for the aggressiveness. Then insomnia. Yes, another major problem that we have at retirement and at old age. Sleep issue. Sleep. Some people find it difficult to sustain 8 hours of sleep every day. This could be because of the lifestyle they have been living while they were working. In fact, imagine people living we Lagosians, you go to bed late and you wake up as early as 3, 4 a.m. Now, when you are retired and you have nothing to do, you find it difficult to even initiate sleep, not even talk about maintaining the sleep. Immunodeficiency and immunosuppression. This also comes in because of absorption, digestion problem. We might not be able to get enough nutrient from food that we are consuming. So some of the requirement to sustain immunity might be deficient. Also, aging process also is another thing that helps that promotes immunosuppression. So at that age, you notice that somebody that has not been falling ill becomes ill unnecessarily, they become susceptible to any exposure to infections. So most of these non-communicable diseases are things that we experience at retirement and at old age. Next slide, please. So how do we manage and how do we live with most of the aforementioned medical conditions? The first thing I want to talk about under this slide is self awareness. You need to understand your system. First thing is you need to be aware that you are no longer getting younger. Rather, age is catching up. You need to slow down. You need to, by the time you are in the know, you realize the fact that yes, I might not be able to run through flight of stairs. I might need to slow down, hold on to the rails for support. I might need to also take care of some basic things. I can run and cross the road even when a car is coming. But now that I'm getting older, I need to be sure that the road is clear before I take some basic steps. I need to be aware of what I eat, what I drink, because things are no longer business as usual. Age is here and it is actually a continuous thing. It's not something that is reversible. Then you need to be conscious of your health. And there are some basic things that I need. I think it is under this particular health awareness, so easy, so basic that it doesn't need, we don't need to break the bank to get them done. And that is the weight and the height. In fact, the weight is so easy that you can have it. There's this bathroom scales that you can have in your bathroom, and you can just get a measuring tape plastered to your wall to check your height, calculate your BMI, your body mass index regularly to know whether you are overweight, are becoming bigger, or you are becoming unnecessarily you are losing weight on you can't explain. So, and when you're getting bigger, somebody that is having bone issue and is becoming to add more weight, we are having issues with our knees. And you're having knee problem because of age. Now you're packing more fats. It's going to worsen the case. And at the same time, if you just notice, oh, last week I was 68. How come in 2 weeks I've lost about 8 kg? You need to be concerned. Unexplained weight loss. Are you inoculating a particular disease? Are you nursing a, a cancer or something that you cannot explain? So you need to be self-aware. You need to be conscious of your health. The next thing is to check your vitals. Some of us don't even say gone are the days that you need to get to the hospital. You need to see a doctor to do most of these things I'm mentioning now. We have smartwatches and several devices that in the comfort of your home, you can have your vitals checked. We have the likes of a Samsung Gear, Apple wristwatch that can get you your pulse rate, your as, oxygen saturation. Some can even do your live ECG for you, or real-time ECG. You can have your blood pressure check with some of these devices. We have the likes of Fitbit, even some Android phones can get that done. And for those that do not have the luxury of having those done, walking to the nearest clinic, even a normal local government hospital, you have your vitals checked. So we need to be aware of our health and we need to start checking to make sure we are on point. We have just one mission at retirement, and that mission is to stay healthy and spend less. If you are staying healthy, you will spend less on medical emergencies and medical conditions. So we check the next thing is to check your blood values, check your regular checks of paxil volumes, regular checks of urinalysis. The urine is a window to the whole body. Like I tell people, there are 101 medical conditions that I can diagnose from just taking the urine sample. I can know if somebody is pregnant with a urine sample. You can know if somebody is having diabetes with a urine sample. You can know if somebody is having infection with a urine sample. You can diagnose renal kidney problem with a urine sample. You can diagnose liver problem with a urine sample. You can diagnose starvation with a urine sample. Urine analysis is a very, very wonderful test to check for almost anything in the system. So let's have our urine check regularly, check your blood level, parcel volume, ultrasound scan, both for male and female, fantastic. For male, it will help us to check the status of our prostate, our kidneys. For female, yes, we know the status of our uterus. If you're having any cancer in the ovary, ovarian cancer, endometrial cancer, liver problem, kidney problems, yes, all these investigations are very, very cheap. And to maintain one's health, you need to be conscious of the fact that one needs to invest on our health, especially during old age. You have actually labored for several years. Now that you want to relax and enjoy, health should not be an issue. And I know a lot of people have been saving and saving and saving for all this while. The next thing after the general checks is to exercise. Exercise is very key to maintain a very good body, wellness, healthy lifestyle. And at old age, nobody is asking you to go to the gym or go and get a fitness trainer and start building the particular muscles. Maybe you want to build your biceps, you want to work on your abs. No. At that particular age bracket, at retirement, what we need is just for you to keep this cardiovascular system in place. So brisk walking, 30 minutes brisk walking daily is fantastic as long as it is regular. I usually smile anytime during the sanitation that I'm driving and I see a lot of people, especially on Lekki Koili Bridge. You see that the number of people walking, running is more on sanitation day. They are really doing nothing. The secret to exercise is the consistency in it. It needs to be regular, an average of 6 times in a week before you can say you are exercising. And for this, our age group that we are discussing with today, I'm not expecting you to start carrying dumbbells or start doing press up or push ups. Regular walking, 30 minutes daily is enough to maintain the balanced cardiovascular flow. So the next one after exercise is diet. One, it is logical and sensible for one to understand that yeah, I'm old, I'm getting older, my digestive system is becoming also is getting older as well. Do I want to labor this system or I want to assist the digestive system in getting things done, in digesting my meat and in absorbing the basic nutrient I need from the food I'm consuming? Yes, the best thing is to assist the system because now some of us are old, we cannot climb stairs. At the same time, there is an elevator to assist us. But rather than assist the organ, the digestive system, we are also loading it with a lot of things that eventually to shut down. Yes, that's why you see that at that age group, people struggle with constipation, indigestion. Some even come down with some cancers, yeah, colon cancers and what have you. And most of these things have been linked through the research to diet. So, what is the best way and the best diet to assist at this age bracket? The first one is high fiber, high vegetable diet. With increase in fiber and vegetable, yes, you less likely going to have constipation, and you'll be able to get most of the things that you require in your daily body. requirement, daily requirement, you'll be able to get them all the multivitamins you need. If you've had your vegetables and you have enough fibers in the morning, most of the required nutrients have been supplied. You see that you would not really need supplements that much, because what is inside that supplement, most of these things are daily requirements. The body might not store them. Once the body is able to achieve what it wants from breakfast, from the vegetable and fiber you had in the during your breakfast or lunch, whatever tablet you are taking in is going in and it's coming. It is giggle, garbage in, garbage out. So more vegetables, more fibers, that will help with digestion. The next thing is hydration. You need to take minimum of 4 liters of water daily. Yes, it could be a bit worrisome for elderly because your toilet, the rate of urination might increase, but it's also good to help with digestion and flushing the system. We need a minimum of 4 liters of water daily to help. Then we also need to slow down on our carbs, carbohydrate consumption, especially for those that are having issues with diabetic, sugar problem, insulin dependent, not insulin dependent. We need to slow down on our carbohydrate consumption, because at that particular age bracket, you need less carbohydrate. The only thing we need carbohydrate for is to fuel the body, to help maintain daily activities. And our activities are actually minimal. It's not minimal to what we have been doing before. We're not as active as we were before. So you don't need enough, you don't need that much carbohydrates in the system. Then the next important thing is to slow down on trans fat. In fact, eradicate trans fat. And what do I mean by trans fat? The use and reuse of vegetable oils. I know the ladies in the house, the women in the house, we understand. By the time you fry fish or chicken with oil, that particular vegetable oil is the next one you want to use to make stew. Is the one you want to use as the basis for stew, or you want to make a forero. Meanwhile, you have actually bleached that oil, and what is there now, is trans fat, and it is actually a bad cholesterol that leads to atherosclerosis and so many medical conditions. So what I usually tell my patient, what I usually advise is no frying. At 60, no frying. If you want to take dodo, air fry it or grill it. If you want to take akara, do moi moi. Instead of what else do women can fry a lot of things. I know they fry chips, they fry potatoes, they fry, just grill or boil. So what I usually recommend is no frying at 60. In fact, at 40, anybody 40 and above should not engage in anything fried, please. As healthy as you want to be, frying of meals is one of the basic practice that is detrimental to our health. And if you look at it during the olden days, our elderly, our grandpas and grandmas, they live for a very long time because they never fried. There is this local thing that they put this net, they hang it on the fire when they are doing to smoke. They rather grill and smoke, and that's why you see that they live up to very, very old age. And most of us now in the cities, we find it difficult to live up to 70. If somebody is 70, we'll do a big party. Meanwhile, we can still do 90, we can do 110. So it is most of these practices that have been reducing our life expectancy have been giving us a lot of bad issues. So, final recommendation, we need to work on our diet, whatever that is discovered during screening, when we are going for screening, when we are checking, please, we need to comply with doctors recommendations and medications. Another thing I want to say is, I want to lay emphasis on this: no shame in sharing medical conditions with family members, with loved ones and colleagues. Because that's another thing I noticed in practice recently. A lot of people have medical diagnoses and they find it difficult to share with even with their spouse at home. And by the moment you are hiding the medical diagnosis, there's no way you're going to be compliant with your medications. There's no way you're going to be compliant with medical clinic visits. There's no way you're going to be compliant with investigations. It is when you have embraced the diagnosis, you've been able to share for support. Yes, sharing gives you support, gives you monitoring. The children will be able to call you, Daddy, when are you going to a clinic? Daddy, should we pitch in and hide money for your medications? Even if you have the money, if you don't need your children to do anything for you financially, you still need their support. So it is always good to open up if you have a diagnosis, share it. Several times I've seen patients being brought in, and the wife will not even know that the husband is diabetic or hypertensive. Or the husband will be winking and telling doctor, don't talk when my wife is here. I don't want her to know I'm on prostate medication. I don't want her to know, or ladies hiding the fact that they have fibroids or they have one health issue from their husband. If he knows that I'm not this, he'll go and marry another woman. He'll go and do this. So we need to open up, embrace our diagnosis, seek help, and be compliant with whatever we are being told to do. The most another thing is for our mental and spiritual health's sake, we cannot be idle. I'm not asking you to go and start a business at retirement. It's really something you have not done all along. And that is what I know we have some people that will talk about that. Am I off?
No, we can still hear you, Dr. Raji.
Okay, because I lost my screen. Sorry. That was why I was thinking. Yeah. So I want us to be involved in social activities. If it is religious activity that helps in filling the void, please, yes, we can go ahead. The main thing is we don't want you to be sedentary and we don't want the mind or the brain to be empty. We don't want depression at this stage, retirement age. We don't want depression to creep in. No, we don't want you to be depressed. And in conclusion, health and wellness is the bedrock of healthy living. Let us take care of ourselves and be conscious to actually take good care of ourselves. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Dr. Raji. Thank you very much for that insightful seminar. I'm sure everyone has learned. I particularly have learned a lot from it. They say it's best to start early. I'm learning what I'm going to implement. So we are going to start the Q&A session now. Does anybody have questions for Dr. Raji from what we've heard here, or even any other thing health related you like to ask? Please indicate by raising up your hand or by typing a comment in the comment, typing a comment in the comment on the Q&A section. We are waiting. We'll only be able to take about five. Um, yes, we're only going to be able to take about five questions. So I'm going to start with Infinix X670. Was the first to raise his hand. So please, good afternoon. Please introduce yourself and let's hear your question for the doctor. Hello, Infinix X670. Sorry, your name is not identified here, so I'm not able to call you by your name. Kindly go ahead and take the floor. If you're having challenges speaking, you can also type in the Q&A section. Just type in your question there. So I'm going to move on to Aminu H, because we can't hear Infinix X670. So Aminu H, please go ahead with your question. Unmute your mic and then ask your question. Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Good afternoon, Mr. Aminu.
Okay,
It's good to have
can you
you
hear
here.
me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Dr.
Good
Raji, can you
afternoon, ma. How are
confirm?
you?
Fine, thank
Good
you.
afternoon, sir.
Thank you very much for the wonderful lectures. My own is the issue of exercise. Hello?
Hello, I
We
can
can
hear you,
hear
sir.
you.
Hello?
Hello, sir. I'm with
Hello?
you, sir.
Okay, the issue is that each time I do the exercise, like 30 to 1 hour minutes, I hardly sweat. So I don't know whether the exercise I'm doing is effectively.
Sorry, can you come again, please?
Okay, what I'm saying is each time I do the exercise, like 30 minutes to 1 hour, I hardly do the sweating. So I don't know whether it is effective exercise or not.
Okay. Do you want me to respond, or I take everything at the
No,
end
you
of
can
Q&A?
respond, Dr. Raji. You can respond.
Oh,
We
okay.
have about 5 minutes for
Can
this
you rate,
session.
depending on the time of the exercise, the place you are, sweating should not be actually a criteria to assess whether exercise is effective or not, as
Hello?
long as it is regular and consistent.
Hello?
Are you with me, sir? Hello? So, like I said, sweating should not be a criteria to assess whether the exercise is adequate. It is. As long as it's regular and consistent, it is adequate.
Hello.
Mr. Aminu, did you hear what the doctor said? Okay,
I think
sorry, we have lost, yes,
in
we
my,
have lost Mr. Aminu, but we are going to type the response in the chat section. So we are going to move on to Infinix X670, who is now able to speak. Kindly share your question with the doctor.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, we can
hello,
hear you.
sir.
Go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, my name is Engineer Peter from Mina.
Yes, sir.
Immediately, if I drink water too much, to almost half
I
liter.
can't hear you, sir.
I say my question is after eating, if I take water like a half liter immediately after eating, I will feel to vomit.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
I
So,
say after eating, immediately, if I take water to almost half liter, I will feel to vomit. So that thing is always disturbing me.
okay. You might need to come to the clinic and let them examine you, but once you understand your system,
Yes.
you might need to hold on with drinking until maybe an hour after eating, or you can not go straight for half a liter. That's 500 mils. You can just go in Haliquot, be drinking little by little so that you will not actually trigger nausea or vomiting.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
But thank you very much, sir.
All right.
You're
Thank you,
welcome, sir.
Mr. Thank you, sir. So we're going to take the questions in the comments in the Q&A section now. We see one here, Dr. Raji, who says, I do walk regularly and I do enjoy it, but at times I feel some pains on my left knee, which goes away if I rest for some few minutes. I do drive also and don't have any pains at all. Is it advisable for me to do more driving than walking? So that's the question we have here, Dr. Raji.
Thank you. The first thing I want Mr. Paul Enya, one thing I want you to understand is that driving is not an exercise. You usually make that mistake thinking driving. No, driving is not an exercise. And also, by the time you experience pain in your knee during exercise, you can as well get a knee support. There's a flexible knee support and there's a rigid knee support, whichever you are comfortable with, which will help you during the exercise. It's going to minimize the pain you feel. In fact, you might not even feel any pain at all if you are able to if you can purchase it and you apply it before your workout. But have it at the back of your mind that driving is not an exercise. Yes, cycling is good. If you're cycling, very fantastic means of exercise. But driving and riding motorcycle both are not exercise.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Raji. Paul Enyi, I believe you heard the doctor's response. We're going to move on to the next question from Dame Joanne Oji. And she says, after my serious heart failure in 2024, I've virtually stopped exercising. I'm 68, now weigh about 62 kilograms. I wish to gain some weight, so I've now stopped dieting. I eat what I want and take my diabetic drugs as prescribed. I feel okay. I think this is maybe asking for just looking for some confirmation as to whether what she's doing is right, doctor. So she said, after my serious heart failure in 2024, I virtually stopped exercising. I'm 68 now. I'm 68, now weigh about 62 kilograms. I wish to gain some weight, so I've now stopped dieting. I eat what I want and take my diabetic drugs as prescribed. I feel okay. So, Dr. Raji, what's your take on this, please?
I will actually advise. I'm happy that she feels very okay. It's very
Okay.
good, and the fact that she's compliant with her medications, good medication adherence, that's fantastic. But I want to advise that you please do not stop your exercise. Don't stop exercising. And when it comes to diabetic management, weight reduction is one of the reasons why you might be getting lovely values in when you run your laboratories and you see good fasting blood sugar values and the rest is because of weight that you have dropped. And some of the medications you're using, especially if you're on metformin, glucophage thereabout, it also helps in weight loss. So it's good you maintain 60, 65, but don't add weight, please. If you add more weight, you might have problem controlling the sugar.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Raji. So we'll just take two more questions we have here and then we'll move on. We have John Agberagba. I'm very sorry. I hope I pronounced your name properly. John Agberagba. He says, what kind of general medical checkup do you recommend for those over 50, for those over 60 years old?
Okay. For people over 60, um, I recommend the first thing is to check your BMI and then your basic vitals, which I have explained in the first place, your blood pressure, your pulse rate, and the rest. Then invasive medication investigations. I recommend the chest X-ray, depending on the comorbidity or any medical conditions that the patient is having. We could have a tailored investigations or we do a general checkup. If the person is not having any medical conditions and just want to do general screening, chest X-ray, abdominal scan, male or female, abdominal scan, female 60, they must do a pap smear. They should also try and do mammogram. Male will do a PSA, then both male and female will check your kidney function, liver function, lipid profile, sugar, complete blood counts, and then urinalysis. Those basic ones. Then, if you now want to, if there's enough fund, because most of these things you're talking about also is fund dependent. So if you now have fund, we can now go to have all those magnetic resonance imaging, computer topography, scan, and what have you. But basically, the first set that I've mentioned is enough.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Raji. So we'll take the last, before we take the last question, Mr. Aminu, Dr. Raji had actually answered your question. And I think basically he said sweating, it depends on the kind of exercise you are doing. Am I correct, Dr. Raji? On Aminu, who asked about
I,
not sweating.
I
Let's just
said
briefly give him an
depends
answer. Yeah.
on where and the time. If you air conditioning and you're expecting to after 30 minutes to sweat, or you are in a temperate region, maybe you're in Canada, you're in the UK during the winter session, you might not actually break any sweat. But what is important is during that exercise, your heart pumps better and there is better circulation and the air entry is also fantastic. So it is not sweat that we use in assessing the effect of exercise.
Okay. Thank you very much. So we're going to move on. We have a question here. He says, my his, after doing small work or engaging in small activity, my breathing increases and I urinate more after taking water. So I think this is a comment and not a question. So we'll just move on from it. It says, after doing small work, I guess he means mild work or engaging in small activity, mild activity. His breathing increases and he urinates more after taking waters. Is that a cause for concern, Dr. Raji?
Actually, everybody knows that during workouts,
Your
your
breathing
expected
increases.
capacity, your breathing yes increases. So it depends on what it means by did you get tired easily, because that's another thing we need to confirm. Is it tiredness? But if your breathing increases and you are not in any discomfort, it is one of the, yeah, the effect of the exercises you're doing. Then when you drink water and urinate more, yes, it's expected. The water you are taking is not supposed to stay in your system. You should be worried when you drink water and you're not urinating. That means you are retaining water. Do you understand? So it is good that your urogenital system is working.
Yes. In all,
Yeah.
remember to consult your health practitioner. So we're going to move on to another question here. It says, "Thank you, Dr. Adesola, for the insightful presentation. Please, if one is on BP drugs and observes it has come down to 100/78 or low, is it advisable for the patient to stop taking further dosage to avoid lapsing into low BP?"
Now, one thing I want us to know is this: you are not supposed to take any decision on your medication without consulting your doctor. They might need to just taper down your dosage and see what happens. But you taking it off, by the time the half life of that drug runs out in your system, the blood pressure will shoot up again. So the advice I'm going to give is see your doctor, let them reduce the dosage, let them taper down your dosage, but don't take off the medications. You are not, it's not like malaria that you think you are healed. I'm healed, I can't take medications anymore. No, we taper down the drugs, we reduce the drug. They might reduce the amount of medications you're taking. If you're on 3 or 4 different types of medications, they might reduce the number, or they might reduce the dosage. If you're on 5 milligrams, they might taper it down to 2.5 and keep monitoring.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Raji. Ijoma, are you here? Are you there? I think we can move to the next session. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you, Dr. Raji. Thank you, everyone who asked questions. Sorry, Dr. Raji would have very much liked to answer everything if he could, but due to time constraints, we would not be able to. So, however, if you have more questions, you can always reach out to Avon Medical Practice. Go online and just search for Avon Medical Practice and speak with the customer representative or chat with someone online. Alternatively, you can send questions on the Heirs Insurance Retirees Club. We are going to be happy to have you redirect you to the necessary medical authorities. All right. So thank you very much, Dr. Raji, for this insightful session. We're grateful for it. We are going to
Thank
move on to the next phase of this webinar, which is managing finances in retirement. Managing finances in retirement. And one important way of managing your finances in retirement is by protecting your assets. If you protect what you have, well, you don't need to expend extra money fixing, repairing this and that. So we're going to move on to um, protecting your assets in retirement with Mrs. Temidayo Samuel-Molumo. She's an expert in finance management, and she's going to take us on a few policies that could help you protect your assets and manage your finances in retirement. So, Mrs. Temidayo Samuel-Molumo, can we have you?
Okay, thank you very much, Ijoma. Pleasure speaking at today's forum. Good afternoon once again, daddies and mommies in the house. It's indeed a great thing to be elderly at age. It's indeed a great thing to be alive and in good state. So I want to say congratulations to you. In furtherance to the doctor's encouragement on how to manage old age at retirement, it's also good that we also discuss and mention to you how to also protect what you have worked for all your years in the service, whether the private sector or public sector. All those times you took loan to buy your house, build your house, you took mortgages, you took ajo, you took cooperatives, you took lapo. This is an idea of how to protect the assets, especially the buildings you have, the houses you have, to be precise. We have the Home Protect Plan. This is strictly for landlords and homeowners. I know a lot of us here on this platform of the Retirees Club are landlords, landlords of many properties, landlords of different assets. This Home Protect Plan is strictly for you to purchase against any fire incident, against any form of damage. And also, this plan makes sure that whoever is being affected, should in case anything happens, too, is also reinstated. The next slide, please. You may ask us how much this costs. This comes at a very, very infinitesimal fee. The cost is what you can afford. The cost is below what you use to recharge your phone. The cost is below what you used to, have a good time with friends. It's just at 25,000 naira, not per month, 25,000 naira per annum, per year. And this goes for buildings that are below 25 million naira. And at this, you say, what do you stand to enjoy? In case of the unfortunate, Heirs Insurance would replace all your household features and personal items that may be destroyed to the tune of 2 million naira. It has a cap limit. We also make sure that we replace any form of desktop, laptops, or any related item to the tune of 1 million naira. That is if you take or go with the one for 25,000 naira per year. And don't forget, this one for 25,000 naira per year is just for buildings that are 25 million and below. The next slide. You may also say, oh, under this Home Protect, we also have buildings above 25 million. I'm sure you say, what is this lady saying? How would my house cost 25 million? I know we have a lot of houses above 50 million, 100 million. And I know our daddies and mommies on this, at this club that we have instituted today have quite a whole lot of houses that are far beyond 25 million, putting everything together. And you may say, what is the cost? The cost is based on the cost of your building. That is what I will say. For houses above 25 million, it's just a little percentage. And somebody may ask me, what percentage? It's just a little below 1%. A little below 1%, depending on where your house is, where the houses are located, and depending on the many other features surrounding the house. It's just below 1%. At worst, I'm sure somebody in here will be saying, let me just, what scenario, how do I just calculate 1%? But I tell you, when you discuss with us, we can give you a lot of discounts. And this replaces the household features like the furnitures and whatever may, be affected. God forbid, we've seen a lot of instances that happen around our environment, whether in Lagos or out of Lagos, even in Abuja, in the northern region, western, eastern region, we see people that, build houses and just a little spark of, electricity surge will just put the whole house, into flames. That will not be our portion. However, we are here to encourage you that which you have labored for throughout your working years, the days you went during rain, during storm, during the dry seasons, the days you starved yourselves to get, this building, the days you are like, oh, let me just put something down for my children to inherit. Let us make sure we put in this Home Protect insurance to cover these houses. There's nothing as nice as having houses for our children. You leave houses for them to inherit. In as much as we are giving them the best legacy of education, but it's as good and glorious to have them have these houses and, most importantly, protect these houses. The next slide. The second plan is the Tenant Protect Plan. There are some of us here that may not be landlords, but are tenants. This plan is for you to cover your assets In extreme cases, we provide alternative accommodations for this in case the unfortunate happen. What is the unfortunate? God forbid you've seen fire happen. This is not the time to say, oh, the building is not for me. No. Oh, the landlord will take care of that. No. This is a time for you to say you want to institute a tenant protect plan for yourself. And for our daddies and mommies here who are elderly, who has children, that have families, that are still tenants, once you are planning to be a landlord, please push this out to your children to also say, make sure you cover your properties against any uneventuality. Heirs Insurance will be there for you. Thank you very much. The next slide. You may ask us, at what cost? This is very affordable. We have different categories, and the categories are the one for 5,000 per year, 12,500 per year, 25,000 per annum. All these are based, and the higher ones are based on, the quantum of your rent or the household items. And trust me, the more the more flexible we are in a premium payments. The next slide. The third plan we would encourage you to have, our daddies and mommies in the house, is to also make sure that you fix your motor insurance with Heirs. Everybody here I know has a vehicle. And usually when you go to the licensing office to renew your motor documents, they just, oh yeah, fix the third party, my police let me go. No, we have something above police let me go. That is the third party that we do at the licensing office. We have the Flexi Motor. This is not expensive at all. However, it will provide for you indemnification by Heirs Insurance. The next slide. You can imagine as little as 25,000 per year, not per month, per year. Flexi Motor will provide you, this benefits. 25,000, you can get a benefit of 350,000. With a premium of 35,000 per year, you can get a benefit of 500,000 should in case anything happens to your vehicle. And on a 70,000 per year, you can get a benefit as high as ₦1 million should in case anything happens. And for the other party, the third party, under 25,000, should in case you hit somebody, the third party pay a benefit is up to 3 million. Likewise, the other categories. So, ladies and gentlemen, or permit me to say our daddies and our mommies, we are excited. I hope that's the end of the slide. I hope it's my joy to say to you that it's good you screenshot this name and this number, you reach out to us so that we can, quickly institute for you your tenant protect plan and the homeowners too, for the landlords that are here. And for all landlords, once again, do not leave your house at risk to any tenant. You sweated for it, you labored for it. It is necessary you have an insurance cover for it. Thank you very much. Questions and answers, please.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Temidayo Samuel. She's one of our financial experts here at Heirs Insurance, and she can provide you with good advice on how to manage your finances in retirement by protecting your assets. So Heirs Insurance has various plans to protect almost everything from your life to your home to your car to your children's education. Anything at all can be protected by Heirs Insurance. So for more inquiries, please contact Mrs. Temidayo. Her phone number is here. You can call or send her a WhatsApp message. Please do a screenshot of this page. If you want, we're going to put it on the platform as well. Do we have questions? Do you have questions with regards to how we can manage with regard to this presentation, and we have anything pertaining to how we would like to protect or what should we say assets can be protected. So if you have questions, please raise your hand as usual or type it in the Q&A section, and we're going to have Mrs. Temidayo Malomo Samuel address it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ijoma. I want to believe I would be getting chats, messages, SMS messages to ask and also patronize us. I know for everyone here who's got a vehicle, at your renewal, please buzz me up on this number and we'll renew your motor insurance for you in just a second. Thank you very much. I believe everyone has grasped this and it's very much well understood. Ijoma, I'm not seeing any questions and answers.
Yes, it was quite a
So,
very direct presentation and easy to understand. So we are now going to move on to the next most important aspect of this presentation, which is managing your finances. We just finished with protecting your assets, which is one way of managing your finances in retirement. The next aspect is actually managing your income, ensuring sustainable income after retirement, ensuring you kind of maintain a decent standard of living. Many of us definitely we have decent standards of living after retirement, but how can we sustain this for life? So we are going to have Mr. Basorun. Basorun is the head of annuity, and he's going to provide us with more education on this. Please listen in as usual. After we'll have a Q&A session. So, Mr. Basorun, are you online now? We can proceed with your presentation.
Okay, thank you very much, Joma. Good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon, mommies and daddies, and to my colleagues. Thank you. Good afternoon. I want to appreciate everyone for being here and for taking out time to join us in this webinar. Like Ijoma has introduced me, my name is Adedamola Basorun, and I'm here to talk to you about ensuring financial success in retirement. Using basically the Pension Reform Act for most of us here who was it called, who worked with, who had employers, so who are retired, who had employers while we were working. You understand that in 2004, the contributory pension scheme was introduced into the Nigerian system, whereby you opened a retirement savings account and with your PFA of your choice, and your employer was taking an amount out of your contribution. At the start, it was 7.5% from you and 7.5% by your employer. This changed in 2014 on the 1st of July when there was an amendment when your contribution became 8% and your employer's contribution became 10%. Now, so what are we now? The essence of the retirement savings account basically is to ensure that you have access to money in retirement. You know, when retirement comes, that salary that comes on the 24th, on the 25th, on the 30th of every month stops. So, but basically, what were the objective government had in mind when they introduced the contributory pension scheme? I will look at the objective. The objectives are on the screen here, the four of them, to establish a uniform set of rules and regulations, standard for administration and payment of retirement benefit. And if we are going to look at the benefit, we have to look at the problems that we had in the old scheme. What are the problems we had in the old scheme? Some are payments are not being made as at 20. In fact, I was talking to somebody from Imo State yesterday. She said she retired since 2010 and she has not received a dime from the Imo State government because they are still on the old scheme. So these are part of the problems of the old scheme. Now, for those who work with the federal government, private sector, Lagos State, once you retire, you know,
it takes probably about a year. You assess your pension. For the private sector, maximum 3 months. You start assessing your pension, and your pensions are never delayed. These are what the PFA, these are what the contributory pension scheme came to address. And basically, I'd like us to look at this number 4 here, which says assist improvident individuals by ensuring they save in order to cater for their livelihood in old age. So this means that your pension in retirement is your responsibility. It's not your employer's responsibility. You have a part to play. And in fact, a lot of us will just read and pass, say assist improvident individuals. What does the word improvident mean? Has anyone ever tried googling the word to see what it means? English language is not our father's language, so there are words we see in English language that we feel that we know the meanings, but the meanings are not what we think we know they mean. I normally give an example, like I use the word bogus. If I ask us here to tell me what the word bogus means, a lot everybody will be saying, oh, bogus means it is big, it is large, it is. But the question I ask is, have we really googled to check if the word bogus actually means big or large? If you check the word bogus, it actually means not genuine, fake, untrue. So the same thing, like I shared some, I said the word several. You heard somebody said, Damola, where have you been? I've been calling you severally. I've been calling you. Well, we've never, the way it sounds to us, it means that I've been calling the way we use it, Nigerian English. You know, there is what we call Nigerian English. How many of you saw the video of the woman who went to a store in the US and told her husband, I've got the drugs? So you both started looking at her drugs. They see drugs as hard drugs and everything, cocaine and everything. Whereas she was talking about medication. So police now arrested her. They went to her house, turned everything upside down. Why? They are looking for drugs. Whereas it was medication she bought for her husband. So Nigerian English, there are so many Nigerian English that we think we know the meaning, but they are not. So the word improvident actually means wasteful individuals, people who don't think about tomorrow. So what government just did is hide behind the word improvidence here. That means assist people who don't think about tomorrow by ensuring that they save. So this makes me say that even for those of us who have not been in paid employment, who have our own money, the time is coming you're going to get old. You will probably need something to ensure you have regular income in retirement when you can no longer work. And that is why we are basically talking about annuity here today. So the annuity I'll be talking about is a two-edged sword annuity. One which you can, please, next slide. One which you can assess or
Okay,
you can
Mr.
put.
Basorun, just briefly, there's something interfering. I don't know if it's just me. There's a crackling sound, like a newspaper or something. If you could check it so it doesn't affect people getting the full information of what you're saying.
Okay, it's not from my hand though.
All right, we'll handle it. Please
Okay,
proceed. Thank
so we're not talking about annuity. Basically, there are different types of annuity, but for the contributory pension scheme, for the law in Nigeria, we talk majorly about life annuity. So, what is life annuity? Life annuity is a series of guaranteed regular income made to a retiree, which we call an annuitant, for the rest of his or her life. Now, like I said, English is not our father's language. What is the meaning of guaranteed? What is the meaning of regular? We need to look at it. When we say something is guaranteed, it has meaning, no? And the meaning of guaranteed means a formal assurance, typically in writing, that certain conditions will be fulfilled. So, what is the condition we are saying? That we will be paying you your monthly pension for as long as you are alive. So, annuity is a guaranteed. Now, regular means reoccurring at uniform intervals, or it can mean arranged in an arranged in constitutionally a constant or definite pattern, especially at the same space or between same intervals. So it means that something is coming regularly. That is what annuity. So if we look at it, so we are saying that a life annuity is a series of regular guaranteed. So we are saying a formal assurance that we have written that will pay you for as long as you live. That is the advantage of annuity. Now, who can buy annuity in Nigeria or who can buy in as life assurance? So in Nigeria. Now, anybody who is 50 years and above. If you are 50 years and above and you are no longer in paid employment and you have money with probably your retirement savings account while you are at employ, you can decide to use that money to move into annuity. That's why we said, where are you getting the money from? Or you can also use your own funds. If you have the money, let me give a very good example. Just some months ago, one of Nigeria's greatest footballer, Dodo Mayana, passed away, and Taribo West was lamenting. I believe a lot of us saw the lamentation of Taribo West. After that, Sunday Olise came on air. I was giving an interview that look at how much Taribo, what's it called, Dodo Mayara must have made after he left football. If you look at most of our footballers, after they've retired, they are broke. What happened to them? The money came, but they never tied the money down to buy an annuity for themselves, something to give them regular income while they are alive. So we can move on to the next slide. So the same thing can happen to everybody who is working for themselves. You can also use your own income and buy an annuity to ensure that when you are retired, you don't get stuck in life. Now, so what are the benefits of annuity? We have said guaranteed regular income that will be paid to you for life. Now, what are also are the benefits? Now, some of the benefits of annuity. Now, probably you say, oh, I know most of you here will probably have heard about program withdrawal versus annuity. Annuity has some advantage. One of the things with, like I said, is it is guaranteed irregular income. Another thing is that it pays you for as long as you live. According to the Pension Reform Act, program withdrawal pays you over an expected lifetime, while annuity pays you for as long. So, we under annuity, longevity risk have been transferred to the insurance company, which are guaranteed to pay you for as long as you live. Now, also investment risk. Now, when the when you are with annuity, you don't bother yourself with the investment risk. The insurance company has guaranteed to pay you for life. Also, we talk about what about if death occurs? With annuity, your family don't need your beneficiary. Like we, when we are filling, when you are signing up for annuity, what we are asking you to give us is your beneficiary. Whereas for program withdrawal, it is next of kin. There's a difference between your beneficiary and your next of kin. Your next of kin is who do we contact in case of death when we can't reach you. But doesn't mean your next of kin is a beneficiary. So your beneficiary are the people who will benefit from the proceeds should something happen to you and you are no longer in the picture. So with annuity and the names you've given us, all your beneficiary need to do is walk up to us with a valid ID card and the proof that you are no longer are there to collect your balance, whatever is left from your account. Whereas in the other option available, that's program withdrawal. If you die, if a retiree dies interstate, that was without a will, they have to go and get a letter of administration. Now that means that they need to pay a lawyer between 500 to 700,000 to get a letter of administration. Letter of administration takes about 2 years or so to process if it is not more. After that, the letter must be administered to prove it. That means the court is going to charge 10%. Then estate account is going to. So that means that there is knife on your money. By the time your money gets to your beneficiaries, it is a fraction of what you have against what annuity offers. So, with next slide, please. If there is so, ladies and gentlemen, and to the people that want to buy annuity but with their own money, you can talk to us and say, okay, yes, I want to be earning 300,000 naira as monthly pension. I want to be earning 1 million naira when I get to age 65 or when I get to 70. How much do I need to give you so that when I get to that stage, I'll be earning? We will do the calculation. I will tell you this is the amount you're going to give us. I will tell you when we'll start paying you, and you can be rest assured that your retirement is going to be sweet, your retirement is going to be enjoyable. And lastly, I want to say, now grandpa and grandma will get money, now in grandchildren they like. So ensure you take care of yourself in retirement so that your grandpa, your grandchildren can enjoy coming to visit you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Basharu. Thank you very much for that insightful session. Do we have questions? Please, we are open to taking questions. Do you have questions on this presentation by Mr. Basharu on managing your income in retirement and then how to purchase for yourself a continuous or consistent stream of income through the Heirs annuity plan? If you have questions, please raise up your hands or type it in the comments in the Q&A section, and we are going to address it. All right, in the absence of any questions, I would like to advise everyone, please take Mr. Basharun's details. You can take a screenshot of this particular screen. We're also going to put the details on the platform. We're going to share the presentation with you as well. For those of us on the platform, definitely for those of us who were unable to attend the presentation. So everything was being recorded. It will be shared with you. Please share the link to the group to other retirees you'd like to benefit from these activities, because this is going to be a regular activity, a consistent activity for our retirees. Aside the engagement of on the platform, we want you to engage with each other, encourage each other, inspire each other. If you also have questions with regards managing finances in retirement or even health loans, you can reach out to us on the platform. We'll refer you to the relevant body to address that. And finally, register for the Heirs Insurance Retirement Dream Competition. Is still ongoing. 3 lucky people are going to win a share of 5 million naira. And you know there's a lot you can do with that extra money. Lastly, don't forget to refer your friends and family within the retirement age to join the Heirs Insurance Retirees Club on WhatsApp. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can still raise up your hands. Otherwise, we'll be rounding off this webinar series. We have Dame Joan here. Dame Joan raised her hand. So I'm going to permit you open up. All right, Dame Joan, please unmute yourself. We'd like to hear from you.
Okay.
We also have Mr. White coming after. Yes, go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, good afternoon. I want to appreciate you for this. I listened and I followed from start to finish. It is a very good thing. I only want to ask, why a competition where 3 people will share 5 million? Isn't that too small? That's my question. Have a good weekend.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We totally understand. Like, we understand it. But we did a kind of survey, and from what we got back from people within that age group, it was said that this will be very helpful, right? We definitely know that some people might decide not to participate. That's well and good, but don't forget to share, because a lot of people will benefit from this, right? The competition. Aside that, share the link to the Retirees Club. There's a lot of helpful insights that's going to be there from you, that is from all the retirees, and also from Heirs Insurance. Like we said, we are going to be having this webinar series regularly. We've launched the first one on focusing majorly on health and finance management. We're going to do creativity and all that coming in soon. We'll even have physical sessions where we could have how we could partner with all our various partners. We have partners for gyms, for Avon Medical, so health checks, free health checks, and so on. We'll be informing you on the group. So if you want your loved ones to participate too and benefit, share the link to the group. So we have Mr. White here. Mr. White also has a question. Please unmute yourself, Mr. White, and you can speak.
All right, good afternoon, Heirs Insurance. I want to first of all say thank you for this laudable, worthwhile, relevant seminar. I am blessed to be part of it. From the doctor, I learned so much. Although you did not permit me to ask my question from the doctor about insomnia, it's okay. I want to ask the second woman, although I've screenshot the question, the number, I will call her later. If she's there, about the house, I want to insure my house. And then the last person that spoke on the retirement pension stuff, I I will call him also because it's a long discussion I want to have with him. And then finally, I want to appreciate the kind gesture about the competition. Whoever wins, we not see it as a small thing. It's a laudable project. And I'm looking forward to be one of the winners anyway. Thank you for what you are doing. It is awesome. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. White. Thank you very much. We are happy to have you here as well. And we're happy we've been able to create some value for you. Yes, you can reach out to Mrs. Temidayo or Adedamola Basorun via the screenshots. If you want to be faster, you can just communicate on the group chat as well. That's the Heirs Insurance Retirees Club. And we'll reach out to you directly, okay? We'll have them call you. Just communicate on the group chat and an admin is going to reach out to you personally via private chats. Thank you so much, Mr. White. So thank you, everyone. We're going to be closing this session. Okay, just before we close, Mr. Basorun wants to answer Dr. Jane. Would you still like to do that?
Okay. Yeah, let me. Good afternoon, Dr. J. Yes, ma, we had you, ma, but this is our inaugural. What's it called? This is the first time we are doing it. So by next year, I'm sure it's going to be far bigger than this. So just permit us this one. This is the beginning. And the Bible says, even though your beginning may be small, your later end shall greatly increase. So this is the beginning. It's going to be getting bigger by the year. Thank you, ma.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Basorun. Thank you, Dame Joanne. Thank you, everyone. And we wish you a lovely week and going into the weekend.
Q&A.
We have more questions?
Q&A.
No, I think we've addressed all the questions in the Q&A. We opened the chat box and Dame John spoke up, Dame Joan and Mr. White. So, but Mr. Basorun, they'll be reaching out to you. We'll reach out to them and link them with you and Madam Temidayo. So thank you, everyone, and we wish you a great weekend ahead. Keep shining, keep being bright, keep giving your best. We love you all and have a great week ahead. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.